Welcome, dear friends, to Kardec Radio in a special program for you. The highest hour of the sun in the sky, 12 p.m. 14 years ago, Kardec Radio was born. What a baby, yeah? Now a teen. Yes, 14 years. 14 years, and Kardec Radio began as a baby, like in the womb, like a fetus, right? One program a week. The next year, two programs a week. And then so on and so forth. And today, an app that is streaming 24/7. Plus, hosts from around the world sharing their studies, their knowledge, their love, their light. Because Spiritism is light. Who remembers that beautiful poem? About Spiritism is light. Spiritism is light is a poem that Chico Xavier psychographed. Always Chico Xavier. What can I say? He's the man, or the spirit. Yes, this poem Chico Xavier brought to us, Spiritism is light. So glorious, so strong and bright. It shines upon our earthly way and guides us past the veil of day. It is a spring so rich and wide, of kindness flowing with a gentle tide that pours through every land and sea, the living waters' harmony. It is the temple of pure grace, where virtue finds its sacred place, and goodness blooms in secret array, a joy that never fades away. A verdant tree with branches high, it lifts our hopes into the sky, with fruit and flowers in full display of truth and peace along the way. It is the holy, blessed gleam that ends all evils, shadowed dream, the call divine, serene and whole, that wakes the everlasting soul. If Spiritism calls to you, let its clear light be guide and clue, for Spiritism is a school of love with Master Jesus from above. Hooray! This is the beauty of Spiritism in our lives that we celebrate here at Kardec Radio. You know, friends, let me share with you. Yesterday, my daughter Virginia, she was showing a video that somebody did with a dog, a beautiful dog named Loopy. Yeah. And the video had like 4.5K views. It's just a dog and a girl. That's it. And with Spiritism, it's hard to reach that level. You know why? Because humanity is not there yet. Which means that if you're tuned in now, you are part of this group that are trail blazing in the world, opening the path of Spiritism. Remember, we have to do our share. If Spiritism calls you, says the poet, let its clear light be guide and clue, for Spiritism is a school of love with Master Jesus from above. So, do you feel it? Can you feel it? I know Lou is here from the Czech Republic directly to us. She's here always sharing the light of her connection. Thank you, Lou, for joining us. Soon we're going to read something she wrote to us at Kardec Radio that is phenomenal. But before I get there, let me share with you the friends, the guests who are taking time of their holiday because it's Independence Day in the United States. Is it by chance that we are born on July 4th? No. Why? because Ben Franklin, the mentor of the radio in the spiritual realm, with permission of Jesus Christ, is guiding the pathway of the radio. And you know he is one of the main founding founders of our nation, the United States of America. A nation that is destined to be part of the brain of the earth, but not this brain that people think cold. No, you know, the brain coordinates all of our emotions, the whole body. It's the expression of the soul. One day it's going to be the full expression of the Christ on earth in its greatest reasoning. No wonder it's the land of the brave, the land of the free, and we need to keep that in mind, that we are free, free to love, free to create relationships that are harmonious, free to be happy. Mhm. To join us in this mindset, we're going to bring friends one by one, okay? Let's begin with Carol. Hey, Carol, how are you?
Hello, dear Vanessa. Happy anniversary, Kardec.
Yes. And people know Carol Correa is one of our hosts. Remember, Carol, when you began only the audio?
I do with Blood Talk Radio.
Yes,
And
right?
we had to call to make comments. Do you remember that, Vanessa?
Yes. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And you and another friend started joining the task force
Yes.
and doing program Spiritism for Kids. Tell us about it.
Yes, it was so beautiful. We streamed stories that the mentors called stories for from the heart, and they were based upon spiritist books, children's books, or stories that were inspired directly from on high. Because, as you said, Ben Franklin, our beloved Ben Franklin, directs it all with the team of May May as well in collaboration. So they often inspired us to share stories, always with the take of love, of understanding, of forgiveness and mercy and kindness, inspired first and foremost by Master Jesus. And we called Master Jesus our big brother Jesus. So
Yes.
in every story we said, what would our big brother Jesus say? Let's count on our big brother Jesus because he's our best friend. So it was beautiful to
Yes.
feel Jesus in this way. Yes.
Yes. And
Mhm.
then the beauty of it all is that over the years, new programs, we did programs on Andrea Louis books with Sunshine. You
Yes.
did other books, and recently, besides the prayer for peace that we started during the pandemic, you also have been leading this beautiful force of unveiling the study of the Spirit's book, right?
That's right. We have been studying question by question, one by one. We began with the divine laws, the third part of the Spirit's book. And now the mentors have graced us with the opportunity to go from the beginning. So we are now on question 79. And it's so beautiful to see God's wisdom being explained to all of us in both realms so didactically by Kardec. Kardec is an absolute genius in the way that he organized the book and in terms of the questions that he asked. And the mentor spirits are so wise and direct and explaining everything to us that there are no mysteries any longer. So, Spiritism is indeed the light of our lives because thanks to it, there are no mysteries anymore.
No mysteries.
Right.
The poet says, and we will repeat, Spiritism shines upon our earthly way. It begins. Spiritism is light, so glorious, so strong, so bright. It shines upon our earthly way and guides us past the veil of day. Thank you, Carol, for joining us. We will be talking more and more, and we have friends here. Ebony, Ebony. She says, Kardec Radio is my go-to resource to nourish my soul before bed. I also download programs and listen to them as I drive. Mamma mia, thank you for sharing these resources. You see, I never thought about downloading programs, but that's a possibility too. See, learning with our audience. Thank you, Ebony. A big hug to you too. And now we're going to call Mr. John DeRosa. Mr. John DeRosa.
Hello.
And right? An American born in Washington, D.C. Oh my gosh. What an honor for us to have you in this beautiful team.
It's my honor, believe me. I I always feel very grateful for being involved, for finding Spiritism, the spirits directing me to find Spiritism, to bring it into my heart, and to attempt every day to live it, which is a struggle for all of us.
But tell us, John, tell us, when you started listening to Kardec Radio, because back then it was just listening, not viewing, a Blog Talk Radio every Saturday, right?
Every Saturday, yes. Trying not to miss any 11 o'clock show that was there, and we didn't have a whole lot of people that would call up and ask questions. So at times I would call up and ask, because there's always questions that people have,
and I remember the day you walked into the Spiritist side of Virginia as another day coming in, and you said, I want to record the Spirit's book by Kardec. And I myself confess, I said, oh my gosh, John doesn't know what he's talking about. Because we've been recording books in studios. Back then, it was so hard to record these things. We didn't have all the resources. We had to pay sound engineers, go to their studios, bring friends there. We didn't have AI voices. And then Mentor Joseph, you know the good spirits, they always see the light. I couldn't see it myself. And then he said, well, remember, everything in nature is gradual and organic. So why do it all at once, which is almost impossible? But every week, record parts of it. Little by little, we release into our programs. And then one day, ta-da. So they said, invite Steve Shepard, another American Spiritist friend from Pennsylvania, member of the Spiritist side of Baltimore, connected with John DeRosa, and through this timeless and spaceless manner, they spent 3 years, right, John? Tell us about that experience of recording the Spirit's book, being Kardec's voice.
It was certainly a learning experience, and Steve, fortunately, with his musical background and his wonderful voice, helped me to understand and use that free audio recording, Audacity. And that's what we use to record it. And I would record the questions and the answers, and then I would send it to Steve, and then he would play that back. And of course, he played the role of the spirits, and I played the role of Kardec asking the questions. And he would record over my portion of it, send it back to me. Then I would add the music that you found for it. And every time I hear that on the radio, I know, the spirits book is coming on.
Yes.
Because it's synonymous with it, at least for me anyway. And I'd add their music and then send it to I can't remember who was handling it at that time, and then we'd incorporate it onto the 11 o'clock program that we eventually had. And it was, I was still working at the time, so it was always a little bit of a challenge, but it was so enjoyable to do because it just felt good doing it now, and it wasn't overpowering because, as you mentioned, the spirits made sure that it. I think most of the time we did somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, so it wasn't overpowering. And of course, taking 3 years, we finally got through those 1,019 questions and answers, and now with, as you mentioned earlier, now with AI, it makes it so much better to go through the books. We're working on Medium's Harvest now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
over the years, you have been recording several other books, and recently, the ones released, The Dynamics of Our Sixth Sense by Divaldo Franco, a phenomenal talk that became a book, now available at Kardec Radio. It's a whole playlist. And also Spiritist Therapy for Discarnate Spirits by Uncle Nielsen, who was the spirit counselor of the spirits who were channeled through Divaldo Franco. So over the years, and John also hosted prayerful programs, right?
Yes, it was The Way, the Truth, and the Light. I did some of those broadcasts.
Yes.
And
okay.
Yeah, it's been.
And there's more to come, as he's saying. The Medium's Harvest is another book by Emmanuel coming up, thanks to his efforts. What a discipline from John DeRosa and Steve Shepard over 3 years. They are family men. They have grandkids. They have their busy lives, but they found a way to dedicate their free time to you. So, question to you, viewers and listeners. Can you join the team? Because we're looking for more hosts, okay? We need more programs. The good spirits have more suggestions and recommendations. So if you feel you know enough spiritism, safely enough to share it with others, and you have, free time that you are dedicating to spiritism, write to us at kardecradio@gmail.com and tell us. We're going to interview the people who want to help in this task force. We have a million things to do. We always need help. Talking about help, during the pandemic, Daisy came in and became a host of Pray for Peace, right, Daisy?
That's right, Vanessa. Oh my goodness. What an opportunity at a time that we were at home and we all were not able to be present at the Spiritist centers ourselves. And in this search for hope, for peace, and we started working together with a team for the daily prayers at 6 p.m., which is such a special time, Mother's Mary's time, in a time where our planet needs peace. So every day at 6 p.m., we can all join together and pray together for prayer for peace, which is it's incredible to think that we can all be connected around the world at the same time praying together. How powerful. Spiritism
Right?
is definitely light in our lives. Yeah.
And Daisy, it's interesting because we spiritists know the power of prayer, but we study more than we pray. Unlike other religious pathways, spiritual pathways where people pray, 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 don't study. We study sometimes more than we pray, but through the prayer for peace, we have learned, right? That prayer is the way, right, Daisy?
Yes, prayer is the way. Pray away, and it's incredible, right, friends? Because we have this tool at our hands, prayer. For how many lives we thought that we need a third person, someone else to pray for us, but Spiritism comes and shows to us that we ourselves have this connection with God, but it depends on us. God is always connected with us, but we need to make ourselves available to connect and have this relationship with God. So we nourish our physical bodies, we take care of our physical bodies, but how about our spirit? And prayer is nourishment for our spirit, is building this connection and relationship with God. So we need a lot of prayer, and prayer perform miracles, as we've seen throughout the books, from the Spirit books telling us about prayer all the way to Andrea Lewis books. We see the power. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, one prayer
Yeah.
change lives.
Change
So
lives.
we need to
So,
cultivate prayer.
exactly. So, talking about that, before I keep adding more friends, I want to share with you guys that talking about prayer, we've come to know some friends who are religious in the morning prayer. The morning prayer also turned 5 years in this daily effort, right? And we've got to know friends in other parts of the world, like the Czech Republic. Lou. Lou is this friend who became so close to our heart. She's here with us, watching, participating. She sent a message yesterday that I want to share with you as I read it here. She says, Happy birthday, dear Kardec Radio. Kardec Radio is like a shooting star that travels across the oceans, connects countries and nations, shines at our homes, brings love, peace, and joy to our hearts. And it is light, and its light connects us all, no matter where we are or who we are, connects us in our hearts and in our souls. We wish Kardec Radio many, many blessings. Thank you for being there for all of us. Gratitude, gratitude, love, Lu. Thank you, Lu, for your loving words of encouragement. Keep encouraging us, supporting us with your heart. And we just received a message by the renowned British Andrew Powell for Kardec Radio about Kardec Radio. You want to hear it? Let me see if
Yes,
you can hear it, okay?
yes, Vanessa.
Allan Kardec is a genius.
Is it loud enough?
His way of sharing the truth of this world and the worlds of God under Spiritism has changed my life significantly. It broke through the barriers of not feeling trust, hope, and faith in the life, because the world we live in today on this earth is not that nice in so many ways. But learning through Allan Kardec the truth of this world and who we are under God's will and the trial with Jesus and the spirits has changed my life. It has turned me into trust, peace, belief of everything I am and who I should be to others. We thank God and Jesus for giving Allan Kardec the guidance to write these amazing books, to share the truth, to teach us how to be under God's will. We thank Allan Kardec for all of this, as it is something that we must continue to share to the humans of this world. We thank you, Allan Kardec, for all that you did, and God and Jesus and the spirits that guided him through. So be it. Allan Kardec.
Wow.
Wow.
Without Kardec, we wouldn't have Kardec Radio. So thanks, Sandro Paulo. Yes, we're saying thank you, Kardec. Thank you, Kardec. Always thank you, Kardec. And talking about so much more I have to share with you. Okay? Messages from hosts at Kardec Radio. We're going to bring a representative of the audience, our friend Felipe.
Hello, friends. Hello, hello.
How are you, Felipe? Thank you for joining us to represent the audience of Kardec Radio.
Of course. Thank you for having me here. Such a joy to be together today.
Yeah, Felipe, for you, listening to Kardec Radio, observing over the years, how do you feel Kardec Radio is helping bring peace and joy on earth?
Yes, thank you, Vanessa. It's just so incredible, to watch and to see how Kardec Radio has been growing throughout the years. And it's just a confirmation that there's a lot of good happening on earth, even though we see a lot of not really nice things, as Andrew just mentioned. If we stop and look for it, we see that there is a lot of good happening on earth. And Kardec Radio, it's there to show us and to be a source of love, a source of learning, a spiritual awakening to all of us.
You see, Felipe, I'm gonna challenge you, okay? Your memory.
Okay.
Since you're young, it's gonna be very easy.
Okay.
I'm just saying, do you remember? Because if I ask John, he's gonna remember all the programs because his memory is perfect.
I
But
wish.
sometimes we are so distracted, we forget. Do you remember one program, a single program that you watched or heard at Kardec Radio that really impacted you?
Yes. It's hard to choose between all of the programs because
What's
they're
the
all,
theme?
yes, they're all so beautiful. And I think that for me, it was on a Monday during the spiritual treatment programs. And it was a program about related to choosing a pathway, to choosing directions, so what to do when you are uncertain of what direction to take. And I feel like all of us in our lives daily, we are challenged to make choices, right? So that program was so enlightening because said, if you are unsure, think about Jesus. What would Jesus say? What would Jesus do? Think about the good spirits. What would they recommend? So for me, it was truly like it came like it was calming to me to understand that whenever I'm uncertain, whenever I'm unsure, whenever I'm feeling like I don't know what to do, oh yes, you know what to do. Think about Jesus. Connect to Kardec Radio right there, 24/7. You can connect, and in just a few minutes, there you will receive guidance. You will receive directions. That will help you bridge with your guardian angels, with your mentors. So for me, it was like so enlightening to know that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I felt stronger to make choices and to make decisions whenever those times come. So the program was one of the spiritual treatments in the evening on a Monday.
Yes, yes. So, since Felipe is telling us that, let's travel to Kardec Radio's YouTube. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to do the entire screen, which I don't like very much. It's a little bothersome, but don't worry. Quickly, you're going to be into Kardec Radio's YouTube. Come on up. Let's go. Here we are. Kardec Radio's YouTube. Here you can find, look, 10,000 videos. 10,000 videos. Oh my Lord. Thanks to the efforts of so many people, but especially the organization by our Camila. Camila, thank you, wherever you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful organization. You can see what's featured. Look at the book we just mentioned, The Dynamics of Our Sixth Sense. And you can see many resources as Felipe was mentioning. And that specific resource is what we call the online, see how I'm searching, spiritual care. And then you look for it, ta-da, the
Mhm.
whole playlist is here for you. Okay, don't play now, don't play. But look at the list, 117 videos, all based on this beautiful book, Jesus in the Home and More, okay? So, since we're talking about this, another resource that was released yesterday, the latest issue of the Spiritist magazine. The Spiritist magazine is the older sister of Kardec Radio. It was born 17 years ago, 3 years before Kardec Radio was born, and the latest issue is right here for you. When you click on it, boom, you open, and then it's like magic. You open and you read these beautiful original articles. This one especially about integral health by Celia Regina Jorge, who is a spiritist therapist who has been doing amazing works in Brazil as a spiritist. She finally allowed us to share one of her explanations about health. It's unprecedented. Plus, we have beautiful articles by the former president of the Spiritist Federation in São Paulo, a former president of the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, Cesar Perry, and spirits of high stature like Jacob, father of Joseph, father of Jesus. Can you believe it? The grandfather of Jesus, Jacob, wrote, through the hands of Euripides Barçanufo in 1906. For the first time, we have it here, transcribed to you in English. When you flip the pages, boom, 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 we can show everything here, but you can read it for free, friends, free. An app, free of charge, Spiritist Magazine. And every week, Shane Martin comes and discloses one article, dissect the beauty of each one of them. She's a neuroscientist and a nurse, so she's good at dissecting. She's good at, treating these beautiful messages and unveiling to us their beauty. So, as we are talking about it now, Ebony is sharing with us. Spirit is misunderstood where I live in Granada. However, the morning prayer program has helped to open the hearts and minds of the spirits within my home who listening with me every morning. Thank you, Ebony. It's the power of our togetherness. Talking about this, forgive me for speaking so much, but I have to share. I need to share one more thing with you guys. Recently at the morning prayer, we had a program based on a poem by Antero de Quental, talking about God, this unknown for many people, right? And we had this exercise because every morning prayer has an exercise for our daily lives. And the exercise was to find God. Where is God today? Okay. And this, where is God today? One of our listeners who has a beautiful soul as well, she wrote to us and she allowed us to share. We'll share in the Spiritist Magazine next issue and share with you her poem. She says, "Today I found God in a morning breeze, in a simple flower so beautiful, in morning bird songs, in a sun dancing on a sea, and felt gratitude for a new day. Today I found God in children's smiles and gentle hugs. Today I found God in joy and hope, in a whisper of better days. Today I found God in every breath, in gratitude that fills my heart for Spiritism in our lives. Today I found God and my heart bursts in love. And when I look back at my life, He was always there, not recognized, not felt. But today I found God in the feelings of my heart, singing in joy out in His name. Feelings that cannot be explained, feelings that feel on me, and tears fall on my face and in our faces with gratitude for such a grace. Today I found God and cannot be the same. In the morning prayer, we meet every day, soul to soul, we seek our friends, we seek God, we share our love with Jesus by our side. Today, I've found God, the love that chokes my voice. And in a gift of every day, I feel myself flying high, so free, so light. And when I fall, He is there, lifting me up in His loving care. Today I found God, and it will never be the same. My spirit sings out His name. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for this heartfelt journey of your discovery of God, which is everything in our lives. Talking about this, friends, let me share with you some of our hosts were able to share their message for today, and he have a message for you.
Hello, my dear friends. Luis Lima here in Orlando, Florida today. I am one of the Kardec Radio's weekly hosts, and I'm recording this short video with my heart full of joy. And why is that? Because it is Kardec Radio's 14th anniversary. And all this joy that I feel is not only because the anniversary itself, but also because the role of Kardec Radio in this changing and challenging world we are being granted with a life in. Talk about so many trials and expiations. Kardec Radio represents this ever expanding possibility to learn and disseminate Spiritism. It transcends time, it transcends space. No matter where you are, when you watch it, it transposes physical, geographic barriers and boundaries. And I would say, probably more importantly, it trespasses the shadows of the human soul to light it up in its seeds. I personally look back on at how it all started, and I say to myself, thank you, Kardec Radio, for being part in my life, for taking part in my life, for being part of my life, and being with all of us for these past 14 years. Let Kardec Radio continue to serve and strengthen your soul. And more than that, bring it to those who are in need of light and hope. 14.
Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart from Mia Inner Light here in Florida. And I'm here just to celebrate the 14-year anniversary of Kardec Radio. Imagine 14 years together, spreading this light that Spiritism brings into our lives. And best of all, in English, with so many different hosts, all studying and perfecting these beautiful teachings within us, helping each one of us to understand a little bit more how our lives can be better with it. And Kardec Radio is this point of connection that can connect us from so many different locations in this world, all to talk about the wonderful good news that Spiritism brings into our life. So Kardec Radio, happy, happy, happy anniversary. Today we are in 2025 celebrating 14, but many, many, many more to come. Thank you. God bless. Bye.
Oh.
So, hello, dear listeners. I am Elsa Rossi from London. I am the president of the British Union of Spiritist Societies, and we work with Kardec Radio for so many years. Kardec Radio opened the door for us. So 14 years, that is a wonderful celebration. And tomorrow, 4th of July, Kardec Radio came to the light 14 years ago. And thanks to Dr. Vanessa Anseloni, Kardec Radio is the pioneer of spreading Spiritist teachings in English as a radio. And we, as a host of Kardec, one of the hosts of Kardec Radio, would you like to say the importance that Kardec Radio is bringing peace into the hearts of everyone that wants to join and listen and participate, attend the programs 24/7. Is available for everyone, and tomorrow is a special day. I would like to be with you and say to you this important moment that we are celebrating, and say, Dr. Vanessa Anseloni, thank you, my dear friends, for bringing light into the world. Kardec Radio is a beacon of light, of peace, bringing harmony into the families, education for children, parenting, and helping us so many things. Yes, we are together and go forever saying this. Kardec Radio, bring Kardec in our daily lives, bring Spiritist teachings into our life, and we are so pleased to say thank you so much, and more years to come, and we'll be together. Thank you so much. A blessings to all from London. Thank you.
Hello, dear Kardec Radio friends. We are so happy today, 4th of July, because we are celebrating our 14th anniversary. Yes, 14 years of bringing peace, enlightenment, and reasons to reflect in our very own inner transformation. Kardec Radio has been a beacon of light far and beyond from the places in which we generate the different videos with the topics, the presentations, the talks, and the prayers. We would like to give here a personal note on how important it has been working for Kardec Radio during these last couple of years, especially in prayer for peace, because we are learning and we are also the beneficiaries of the persistence and the dedication of the good job. How? In our very personal life, when we are together praying through the screen, we are actually connecting all our energies and creating a psychosphere that is appropriate to generate peace and a world that is kinder and that is better. We are very grateful with Kardec Radio, and we are planning and keep moving and going on for 14 and more years. Happy birthday, Kardec Radio. Bye. Hello, dear Kardec.
You see, friends, Carol is crying. Oh, my Lord.
It's so moving to see people from all over the world joining forces for the same cause, inspired by the Christ and Kardec. I'm literally in tears of joy, of course, and gratitude.
Right?
Yes.
So, before we show two surprises to our public, because, every year you think, the good spirits are happy just that we do. No, they progress. Say, every year they have a plan. They say, you have a year to accomplish this. Oh, my Lord. And apparently, without noticing, surpassed it. Without noticing, we surpassed it miraculously. We found out it yesterday and this morning. It was also a surprise to us. And we're going to share something with you. But before we go there, another round here amongst ourselves. And you feel free to ask questions, to send comments, to send your suggestions. But let me share something with you. The theme of this year is kindness for peace, okay? Because the way things are, it's going to be a little hard. We need kindness. We need kindness, right? And there is this beautiful poem by Casimiro Cunha through Chico Xavier named Help Yourself, right? And he says in the poem, let kindness be your guide. Carol, how can we allow it to come through to life? Kindness being our guide.
Through Kardec Radio, Vanessa, we have studied together the life of Master Jesus. I remember when at midnight we used to study together the book Good News by Humberto de Campos through the blessed mediumship of Chico Xavier. I remember the mentors of Kardec Radio asked you and all of us to get together for this purpose at midnight to recall the joining together of the primitive Christians in the catacombs when Christianism was first onset on earth through Master Jesus. And I confess to everyone that this was my first personal encounter with Master Jesus. And through Kardec Radio, this encounter became so palpable. I could visualize Master Jesus. I could feel his kindness. I could see his body language. I could feel the vibrations in his words. And he came closer and closer to all of us until he became a true friend, not a friend that was far away somewhere in the clouds, but a friend that was right there, holding our hands, listening to us, and literally coaching us into a better life. He literally became our tangible model, and he is so humble, noble, and loving that he came to earth again through this book and many others to walk alongside with us. So this was a transformational moment. And through this moment, therapeutic 30 encounters at midnight, Jesus became our best friend forever. And through him, to answer your question, Vanessa, through him, kindness became a way of life. Of
Yeah.
course, we have not mastered it yet. We are not masters at all. There's only one master on earth, and that's Jesus. But we can attempt to take crawling. I wouldn't even say steps, but we can actually start crawling in his direction, and we can visualize him as a loving parent stretching out his loving hands and saying, come on, crawl a little further. You all can do it because I am with you. So through Jesus, not a faraway Jesus, but a real Jesus, kindness can become a way of life for all of us. And through Kardec Radio, that became tangible and possible in English for the whole world to see.
So interesting you're saying this, Kara, because Rihanna Williams, one of the hosts at Kardec Radio with her granddaughter, and her daughter once, she just wrote to us saying this. Hi, dear friends. Happy anniversary to Kardec Radio. Our lives changed when we found Kardec Radio. Look how interesting. On December 24th, with the book Good News. The Spiritist Group of South Africa is so thankful for the assistance and encouragement as we grow. Kardec Radio connects us all to Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for sending Allan Kardec and allowing us all over the world to be in the presence of the good spirits in Jesus every day. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, dear Rihanna. Beautiful words. She and her granddaughter, Mama Mia Zelli, are reading the Spiritist book by Chico Xavier. But there are so many stories to tell. But we're digging in for kindness. So tell us, you listener, yes, who is saying that she loves the study of the good news? It's a striking book. It is a striking book. And if you missed it because it happened years ago, it's still there. At Kardec Radio, use YouTube, go there, good news, and you can join us. It's a frequency. We enter there and we are in that journey. Tell us, Daisy, how kindness can foster peace through Kardec Radio, please.
Yes. Well, we are living at a times on earth that we need so much this kindness in our lives because we turn on the news and we see what is happening. And it can be very discouraging. It can be, I say for myself, if it wasn't for Spiritism in our lives, in my life, I truly would be desperate and wouldn't know what to do. But thanks to Spiritism, we get to know that everything that happens on earth comes from the higher realms that Jesus Haskell was reminding us is our governor. So everything there is a reason. But in order for us to change these views that we come from so many lives, right? So focused on ourselves, to be able to achieve that kindness, we need to train ourselves to do as Jesus taught us. Do to others what we like to receive. And we're not going to be able to do that if we don't learn the new, if we don't look at life different. Because if we keep looking at life the way that we have been for so many lives, we're just going to continue recurring in the same mistakes. So in order for us to achieve that peace and be kind, we need to be able to learn the new. And thanks to Kardec Radio, we can do this 24/7. We can study Spiritism that brings this light to our lives, that takes the veil of our eyes and make us see the world through a different lenses. So it's, and thanks to the Spiritist literature, we have so many resources, from Kardec's codification to Leon Denis, then later on to Chico Xavier, we Emmanuel André Luiz. So Kardec Radio, we can choose. We can listen to the books, the stories. We can study the Spiritist book. We can learn through the medium's book. So there are so many ways, different hosts, so there's no excuse. As our dear listeners were sharing, we can download, we can listen, we can watch, we can use the app, YouTube, Facebook. So thanks to this wealth of resource that Kardec Radio brings to our lives, it's truly through this nourishment of our souls that is the theme of Kardec Radio. We can truly open ourselves to be kind and do to others what we like to receive.
Thank you, Daisy. Even Snoopy is here for Kardec Radio. Hooray, Snoopy. Yay, he's so happy.
Yay!
Imagine the day, let's dream together. We have spiritist stories told by Snoopy.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear us? Yes, God, thank you. Tell us how. That's dreams, Snoopy and spiritism. So,
Yeah.
John de Rosa, kindness for peace through Kardec Radio.
Okay, two things. Jesus and God give me that opportunity practically every day to be kind to people, to share spiritism with them through that little book that I love, Happy Life, through the affirmations. And yesterday was a perfect example. I was at a swimming pool with my grandchildren. This lady comes in, she's got a 3-year-old, and she also had a couple of other kids that were in, another daughter and a son that were in the swimming lessons. And his name was Fred. And I asked her what his name was. They had these building blocks where they have letters, numbers, and you put them together and they make these transformer things. And my grandson Alfred was there, and he started to interact with Fred and help him to, build it. And it was such a perfect example of kindness. And I, of course, took the opportunity to start talking. Her name was Lizzie. And I started talking to her, and of course I asked her to give me a number, and she gave me a number, and I read the message to her, and she was just so happy to hear that particular message that we read out of the book. And that's how spiritism can be spread to people, showing the kindness. The other thing I wanted to do was read this little poem that they helped me write, if that's okay. Kardec Radio's website is where we desire to be, because it always feels so good to me, where we can listen to educational and soul-nourishing talks throughout 24 hours of our day, while making it possible to protect our home and evolve in some small way each and every day.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, Kardec Radio. Felipe, in the name of our beautiful audience, tell us how kindness can foster peace through Kardec Radio.
Yes, thank you, Vanessa. And Kardec Radio is the source, and thanks to God, Jesus, and all the wonderful, loving mentors that bring to us the spiritist teachings. And as I was listening to our friends and seeing the comments online and reflecting about the question, one of the things that I was thinking is how spiritism brings the sense of responsibility to us. So it expands our conscience, and invites us to reflect, to think. So through this exercise of trying not to be reactive, which are all working on, right? We know that Jesus is there waiting for us, as Carol beautifully mentioned, and saying, you can do it. You can keep going. You are capable of exercising this kindness in you. So for me, the reflection is, how can I make the effort? Because that's what Jesus wants. is just make a little effort and I'm going to be there. And then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. So on my day-to-day life, in each interaction at work, at the grocery store, with my family, what are the moments that I can pause, think, reflect, and make this effort to practice kindness? Because for many of us on earth, is still not something natural. It is still something that requires that effort. So for me, Spiritism and Kardec Radio is a reminder each day you can do it. Just make that effort. Just stop a little bit, reflect, and see how you can move forward to this direction. So for me, I'm sorry, this is a long answer,
Oh,
but
it's
for me,
beautiful.
it's through the invitation for an effort.
Yeah. Philippe, you said responsibility. How can we be kind if we're not responsible? How can we be kind if we're not committed? And I have to say, I can't be your mom in this eyes because you have a beautiful mom, but you are a dream son. Huh? If one day I have a son, I dream.
Oh my goodness, we
Be
are.
like Felipe, lead the portrait of responsibility and commitment with a loving heart. Thank you, Felipe.
No,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Vanessa, and thank you to Kardec Radio that brings us and expands our conscience and brings these concepts that are life changing for all of us. So just very, very grateful.
Thank you. And here we have Rosane Pion, the mother of our member and friend from the Spirit side of Virginia, Danielle Pion. Congratulations, she says, to Kardec Radio for 14 years of prayer and learning. Congratulations, Vanessa and friends of all nationalities. We learned that to pray is to fly to heaven and embrace God with our heart. You know, she told me that she listens to Kardec Radio every morning with a translator.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes. So she puts a translator and she listens to Kardec Radio and she interacts with us. Rosane, you are always ahead, Rosane. Always ahead.
Yay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big hug to you. We miss you. And our friend Narciso. Happy birthday, Kardec Radio. Thank you. Lily's here. Thank you. Gabriel Inácio. He's saying happy anniversary, Kardec Radio. I'm deeply grateful. The radio supported me in my English learning journey and indeed my spiritual studies. During the pandemic, it was a true spiritual refuge. May your light continue to reach many hearts. Thank you, Gabriel. Now, guys, are you ready? We're going to wrap up.
Yay.
Two surprises, if not one, two surprises. Yes, we have to, be accountable. The good spirits. Mentor Joseph says, being frankly, in this year, he's recommending that you guys reach this goal. Oh my gosh, how we're gonna do it? But thanks to many friends, and I'll tell later about this, but especially Luis Rivas and his sons, we're gonna stream to you a little bit of a little bit because we're going to stream it officially on Monday. We're gonna start streaming the what is it? Oh my gosh, let me see if I have a sound here to play. There is sound. Oh my gosh. Dance pop, maybe. No, dance pop, no. So, whatever it is, it's gonna be 2,000 years ago. The spirit is novel in English. Hooray! Hooray! Let us show to you. Are you seated? Seat belts on because the journey begins in time. Let's travel 2,000 years ago with Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. Here it is for you, friends. And I'm going to share with you. I don't have the video, but we have the audio, okay? The audio is here. a little bit of the first part, a little bit about the second part of it all. And every week, more and more for you. Ready? Let's see if we're going to.
Kardec Radio proudly presents a journey across time into the soul of an empire. An audio drama inspired by the Spirit Emmanuel as revealed through the hands of the medium Chico Xavier. "2,000 years ago, he walked the halls of power as a Roman senator. Now, his spirit returns to recount a story of pride, love, and redemption in the dawn of Christianity." Two figures, motionless in time. One stands close, burdened by sorrow, bound to earth. The other walks away, silent, serene, already beyond. Publius Lentulus, Roman senator, and the one who changed eternity stand at opposite ends of a crossroads only the soul can see.
Okay, this is a teaser of part 1. Now, come with me, because part 2 is here. Just a part 2, we visualize when Publius Lentulus and the family meet Pontius Pilate. He gives a banquet, a party for them, and here is the party. The party will begin. Hold on, we only have the audio, huh? So here is the audio of the second part. Okay, hold on, friends. There's no magic here. Magic. We need to work very hard. Okay.
At the palace of Pontius Pilatus, a lavish reception is underway, a tribute to the esteemed Lentulus family, guests of honor in Jerusalem for a week. The dinner is served with immaculate precision, every dish placed according to the strict decorum of Roman aristocracy. Slaves move like shadows between columns, some arranging dishes in perfect symmetry, others brushing away flies with bundles of fragrant myrtle, and still more, kneeling at the feet of the guests, wiping away the excesses of indulgence. At the head of the feast, Publius Lentulus and his wife Livia, Pilatus and Claudia, Salvius Lentulus and Fulvia. Names called out with ceremonial dignity by the master of ceremony.
Today we are honored to have the presence of Publius Lentulus and his wife Livia, Pilate and Claudia, Salvius Lentulus and Fulvia.
And as dancers swirl into motion, their footsteps light upon the marble floor, the revelry is briefly halted. A gladiator fight, arranged for entertainment, is moments from commencing. But Livia, rising with gentle resolve, raises her hand. She will not have blood spilled in her presence.
Senator Publius Lentulus, knowing how well your ancestors have served the empire as consuls and senators, it's a great pleasure to receive you and your family at our humble home. We are at your disposal to serve all your needs. Our entire staff are there to serve you.
I did not expect to be so well received in Jerusalem. We thank you for this wonderful reception that reminds us of moments at the court in Rome.
I heard of the unpleasant episode that occurred at your arrival.
An unhappy incident. A young Hebrew threw a stone at our palanquin, and it hit Livia's face.
You punished him with severity, I hope.
Yes. The soldiers escorting us stopped and arrested him. I had him flogged on the spot as an example to others.
You dealt with him.
Wow.
I know you want more, but we can't. On Monday, we're going to stream to you. But you think it's enough? One. Now we have two. Thanks to Daisy. Thanks to Daisy. Also, 50 years later for you. And let's watch, because this has a little video. It does. Miracles do happen. Are you ready, friends? And our friend Hipólito, he's saying in Portuguese, happy birthday in this date of the 14th anniversary of Kardec Radio. Really, you're incredible. You make it happen. Gratitude to all. Thank you, Hipólito. You know, miracles happen. I don't know. We can't explain, right, Daisy? We can.
No, we can't explain. It is miracles.
Miracles.
From Jesus. Everything from Jesus.
So now I'm going to stream to you. Hold on, because it is here. I just need to find a way to stream to you. Hold on. Okay. Share the screen, the audio for sure. And there. Ready?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And go.
Kardec Radio presents a spiritist novel adapted from the book 50 Years Later by the Spirit Emmanuel. Psychographed by Chico Xavier. Part 1.
Hold on, friends.
The year was 131 AD. In the busy city of Smyrna, a group of slaves carried... There's something you should...
Okay. You see, even the computer is very emotional.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't blame the computer at all.
Unprecedented, okay? For the first time on Earth.
Yeah.
This novel, 50 years later, as well. Here it goes. So let's try once again. Mamma mia, may it happen. If not, Daisy, you try on your end, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold on. Yes, I think now it's probably gonna
It's
happen.
gonna work now. Yes.
Kardec Radio presents a spiritist novel adapted from the book 50 Years Later by the Spirit Emmanuel. Psychographed by Chico Xavier. Part 1. The year was 131 AD. In the busy city of Smyrna, a group of slaves carried a richly dressed man through the square.
Careful. Caius Fabricius hates it when the gold trim gets messed up.
He rides like an emperor, but we do the heavy lifting.
And that guy behind us always follows, never helps. But he's no regular guest either.
He's different, proud, but sad, like something was taken from him.
We're here.
Helvidius Lucius is waiting and greets his old-time friend.
Caius, good to see you, old friend. Helvidius Lucius. Finally. This part of the empire just got better.
We just got in from Judea. Alba and the girls are settling in. Come on in. Your family.
Old friends reunited, with more history between them than they let on. Inside the house, the air changed. Caius Fabricius seems worried.
There's something you should know. Claudia Sabina's back in Rome, and powerful.
Claudia? That was a long time ago.
Not for her. She's married to Lollius Urbicus, the city mayor. She hasn't forgotten anything.
Let her hold on to the past. I've made my peace.
Even if it brings back Silanus?
My father's ward. I tried to bring him into my life, gave him work, a future. But Alba didn't want him near. She was afraid of what people would say. But this is in the past. I was young and blind.
I know you want more. Me too, but not now. Pretty soon you're going to be able to listen to the Spiritist novels 2,000 years ago and 50 years later. I don't think we can express our emotion. As Gabriel Inácio is saying, wow, that's amazing. Lily saying, good job. And I tell you, friends, this is just the beginning of a lot more, because technology is now becoming more and more of a good friend every day. And if you think technology is not enough, recently we released Kardec Bot, soon a website where you click go and it's your spiritist robot. Chat with Kardec Bot. Yeah, it's your GPT, the spiritist GPT, talking to you in very many languages to share the knowledge of spiritism, give you plans for your own inner transformation, and more than that, sometimes even telling you, according to spiritism, guidance for our daily lives. Louis saying, can't wait to listen to the novels. Love them all, reading them in the night to my son. Especially enjoyed Paul and Stephen. Now we can listen to Kardec Radio and close our eyes. Congratulations. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, friends. Imagine when we reach Paul and Stephen.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
We're
Oh
dreaming,
my God.
right?
Oh.
We have so much gratitude in our hearts, so much happiness. I know the world doesn't understand our happiness yet. Like, why are you happy again? Because of books? They're like, haha. Because they think happiness is a bottle of wine. But the doctors are already saying alcohol equals to cancer. Oh, well, we can't do that anymore. Books kill us. Books, spiritism. So thank you, friends. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, John. Thank you, Felipe. Thank you, friends. Let us wrap up with a prayer, shall we? Shall we?
Yes.
Yes. Let us all pray together. That's the best way to finalize. We've never done this before in Kardec Radio's anniversary, but it makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
Of course.
That we finalize with a prayer, and a prayer from the heart. So let us close these moments with a prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, we are learning to be reverent to you, to love you, to consult you, to follow your guidance. Thank you for sending Master Jesus to guide us, to model the true life of harmony and peace for us. At this moment, we unite our hearts visualizing kindness and peace on earth, one that is being built at every step as we change our thoughts and feelings, words and actions. May our homes be ever more harmonious and peaceful as we work towards the good of all. And may we all, as well, foster kindness through peace in our relationships at work, in our communities. And thank you for bringing Kardec to our lives. Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, and all the legion of luminous servants, workers of the gospel on earth. May those who are suffering the most on earth today feel the voices of the angel, their loving care, renewing their hope and fortifying their spirits. Thank you, God, for Kardec in our lives. And so be it.
So be it.
So be it.
Thank you, friends. Looking forward to seeing you next time. And for now, stay tuned because soon we're going to release the precise time for both Spiritist novels to be released this coming week. Thank you, Carol, once again.
Thank you, Vanessa. So many blessings.
Thank you. Thank you, Daisy, as well. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Vanessa. Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. And thank you, John, as well.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And love to all.
Thank you. And Carlos is here, okay? He is not in front of the cameras, but he is here. Right, Carlos?
Yes, I am.
Kardec Radio began with Carlos and now we're on Earth, and we're very grateful to Carlos for his support of the years.
Yes.
If you come to Chantilly, Virginia, you can see the headquarters that he created for Kardec Radio, the official headquarters of Kardec Radio. Come visit us. If you're stopping by at Washington, D.C., we're just 20 miles away, like 25 miles away from D.C. Big hug, and until next time, God willing. Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.